Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create this classic mandala in the app IBIS PAINT X. I will give you the details of how I made this as well as the brush details in this video. So don't skip the video anywhere, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe now. So let's get started. So I have opened a UHD canvas size, and first of all I'm going to create a basic mandala. So for that I'm going to use the dip pen soft brush and kaleidoscope ruler with 12 pieces dividing, and now you can see I have clicked on the force fade and I'm going to start drawing. So the mandala design is as per your choice, so I'm going to keep them simple as well as not with more of a fillings. So it's going to be full of lines and I'm not going to fill much with the colors. Since I'm going to get something like a motif style mandala, I'm using the brush which have the sharp starting point as well as the ending point. So here I use the dip pen soft brush. So if you want the parallel lines, I mean the straight lines without any fading of the start and stop of the stroke, then you can go for any pens like digital pen or fountain pen or something like the felt chip pen, something like that. So I want something like a classy motif style mandala, so I used this. So if you are searching for any other brush similar to this, you can go for dip pen hard as well. And now what I'm done is I just duplicate this layer and I'm going to fill this lower layer with some lighter color, and I just kept the alpha mode on for that layer and I'm going to color like this. So I used a special tool, a lasso fill from the special tool, and it's very easy to fill using that tool. So now I just positioned them with increased size a little bit, like 1 or 2 pixels, to get some more shades and details for that mandala. So I just keeping its position as I just tried to something like a shadow style, like moving them on side or bottom like that, and I didn't prefer. So later I just increased the size alone without changing its position. So now I'm going to duplicate the newly sized mandala and fill that with the black color. So now you can see using special fill tool, special lasso fill tool, I just filled it with alpha lock on. You can do either this or otherwise you can use the bucket tool as well. So now I'm going to click on this, and why I use black color for this is I'm going to create the shadow for the mandala. So now to create a shadow I'm just positioning them little bit lower and little bit at the right. So it's like the light is on the top left corner, so something like that. And to create a blurry shadow I'm just using the Gaussian blur tool from the blur option, that is from the filter, and this is how we got. So our basic mandala is over. Now I'm going to add some background color, so which is going to be a little bit darker. Make sure you use the current layer option while using the bucket tool, and I want something darker. So I'm just trying out different colors so that I can get the result that I have on my mind. Okay, now using kaleidoscope ruler and using airbrush, I'm just adding some background details, bright details in the layer next to the bottom background. So something like this. And now I'm going to add some texture, glow, all those things. So for now I'm going to create some glowy details for the mandala. So using charcoal mode brush, and the layer is going to be clipping layer, and blending mode is add blending mode. So if you want to add any glow details, definitely you should go for the add blending mode. So I have chosen the add blending mode and started adding details. So I'm not going to add for entire mandala, just I'm adding at the corners here and there. Since I just kept the kaleidoscope ruler on, I can just draw on any one section and it's going to be filled on all other sections. Now I'm going to add some dark details. So I have chosen the same color, and the blending mode is linear blending mode, linear burn blending mode, and this is how I'm adding some more dark colors with texture. So for that I'm using the brush charcoal mode. So this is how I added the details. Still, if you want to add detail somewhere, you can move on and do. So now I'm going to add some sharper glow details at the corners. So it's a little bit edgy compared to the previous details I have added. So if you don't want the hard corners, like the hard edges, you can keep the force fade tool on. So I'm adding the details one by one wherever I need. So when we add such a glow details, the shapes will be more highlighted compared to the previous one. So now I'm just going to create a new layer and keep the blending mode as multiply, and I'm going to add some darker background shade. So here you can see I'm using the charcoal mode brush. So I have chosen something like a dark brown, which is almost near to the black. So then I'm going to add some texture. So for the texture of entire artwork, you can either use the felt tip pen or hard with some texture details switched on. So I have done that in some other videos, and now I'm going to use something different, soft pastel mode. So using this brush, I'm going to add texture like this, and I'm going to reduce its opacity and change the blending mode which suits that well. So I'm keeping on in add blending mode to get that some glowy texture, something like this. And I feel like it's very harder detail, so I want to erase it little bit. So I'm using oil pastel eraser to erase them. Don't make hard strokes, just it's like it tap tap tap, something like that, to create some erased texture. So here you can see at the center the texture is very less, and at the corners the texture is high. So now I'm going back to the add blending mode, layer to add some texture or details for the mandala again. So now I want some glowy finish for the mandala, something like a metallic look. So to create some lighting effect on that mandala, I'm not going to shade all over with the same color, just adding the glow details here and there. Now I'm going to add some glitters. So for that I'm going to use something like a star. So here you can see I'm using a light 8 brush to add that glow. I think this gives like a shiny look, glow look to our mandala. Okay, I have done this and I want it to be a little bit blurry, not more sharp. So I'm just using the Gaussian blur with almost 5 pixels. Now it doesn't make much difference, but still I'm using. So again I'm going to add some glow details for the mandala. So I'm using airbrush normal with reduced size, and here you can see the blending mode of the layer is going to be add, so it gives us a glow. Not for the entire mandala again, so I'm just adding here and there, and I just off with the kaleidoscope ruler tool so that I don't get a symmetry glow. So I want the glow only on these few places, not on the entire mandala. So now again I'm just using the Gaussian blur to blur the glow a little bit. Okay, this is how we got. So now I'm going to add some more details. So it looks like very blank, so I want to add a circle behind the mandala above the that center glow layer. So I'm using digital plane and circle tool with some dark brown like color, and if you want to get the perfect centered circle, click on press and start from the center of that mandala. So this is how I got. Now you can see the texture that we have used using the soft pastel brush. So I'm going to duplicate this, change the color to black to create some shadow. So make sure you are on the current layer. We're using the bucket tool, and here you can see the color change to black. Now I'm going to position it little bit on the right side bottom and little bit bigger. Okay, something like this. So here we got that shadow, and again I'm going to use the Gaussian blur. It is minimum, it's going to be edgy, so I don't want edgy shadow, so I'm increasing the Gaussian blur pixel size and also changing the blending mode of the layer to multiply, and here we got the final mandala, classic mandala. If you like this tutorial, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.